The Disney parks are doubling down at Deadpool, but in the wake of a lawsuit that was almost forced into arbitration by Disney Plus terms and conditions, it looks like Deadpool might be stirring up trouble in a wrongful death suit by making some, let's say, inappropriate jokes in the parks. Let's talk about that on That Park Place. Hello, I am Jonas J. Campbell, an investigative reporter for That Park Place, and here with me is the only theme park character you will ever need, Mr. Marvin The Movie Monster. Marvin.
Well, hello.
Thank you for joining me today.
Oh, thank you for having me today. We're going to be talking about a character that I love doing things that I hate. So, great.
Yeah.
Span a day.
Deadpool is a funny character. I think he's actually funnier in the comic books. He's a different character in the movies than he is in the comics. And, the one that's in the parks is definitely the movie version. We're going to go to a clip. And the last time we talked about Deadpool, it was not for these kind of reasons. It was whether or not the jokes were inappropriate for telling in front of kids. Now it's a different kind of inappropriate.
And headed to the big battle, Cinderpool was late because he had to read every single page in the terms and conditions when he signed up for Disney Plus. I don't get it. Yeah, they do. It's fine.
Yeah. It's so funny. Somebody died.
I really wonder. First of all, it looks like he's got lifts in his shoes. I really wonder how in the world that made it through. This is from the Goth Girl Does Disney account on TikTok, and I don't put links to TikTok on my Twitter because I think it's a vile platform. But if anybody wants to go check that out, you can there. Okay, so why is Deadpool making jokes about a wrongful death lawsuit and Disney's incredible mishandling of it?
I am floored that they would do this. I mean, you're making light of a situation where a human being died on your property, and not just like died by accident, died via gross negligence. And yes, the restaurant in question is not owned and operated by Disney, but it is Disney's responsibility as it's on their property. And then Disney did maybe the scummiest corporate move I've ever seen them do, which is saying a lot, in trying to say that you can't sue us because of my Disney experience and the Disney Plus terms and conditions. And now we're making jokes about it in the theme parks of all place.
Right.
By the way, the Long Island mother who's there with her 3 kids doesn't know about this. So it's the most inside of inside jokes. And why would you give that to the masses? Like, I don't understand.
You would hope that they have no idea. And for those of you who are not following along at home, this one out of NBC News, Disney says man can't sue over wife's death because he agreed to Disney Plus terms of service. We have covered this on the channel in other videos, and I'll probably link it in the description box down below. But for those of you who aren't following this incident, there was a woman who ate at the Raglan Road restaurant in Disney Springs. It's an Irish pub style, and it was probably selected through the My Disney Experience app or whatever the web browser component of that is. They went in, they conversed with the server about her very specific allergy issues. Under standard procedure, that would go to the chef in the back, and they would all make a note of all the things that can't go into that dish. It would come out and they would eat. An hour after that meal, she passed away of anaphylaxis, otherwise known as an allergic reaction. Mm-hmm. And then Jeffrey Piccolo filed a wrongful death lawsuit to the Walt Disney Company for at least $50,000, which would put it into a jury trial. He also sued Raglan Road. He listed both Disney and Raglan Road as defendants on the lawsuit. And Disney's defense was a motion to compel arbitration, which is them saying, no, because in 2019, by the way, this wrongful death lawsuit was last year, because in 2019, in November, Jeffrey Piccolo agreed to use Disney Plus. He clicked on the terms and conditions in that
free trial. A free trial, I might add.
That's what we're hearing, by the way. And back then, everybody was on a free trial. So I wonder if he canceled it after all this, because he just wanted to watch The Mandalorian or whatever. And he said that he agreed to forced arbitration, that he could not sue the company. Most normal people would assume that that means you can't sue the company over a Disney Plus issue, even though it's still kind of ridiculous. And then he also, in buying tickets to go to Epcot, which is not Disney Springs, that he agreed to be accountable for his entire party. Therefore, ipso facto, you cannot sue the Disney company for wrongful death because you happen to sign up for Disney Plus and go to Epcot in the same trip. No, actually, those are years apart. It still doesn't make sense. But I just want to point out as well, Disney also admitted that this was maybe not the best course of action. This is just a few days ago, about a week ago, Disney reverses course on bid to block wrongful death lawsuit by widower who had Disney Plus. Oh, look, it's another water tower. Lots of those on Disney property. Josh D'Amaro was the one who made the announcement saying, at Disney, we strive to put humanity above all other considerations. With such unique circumstances as the ones in this case, we believe this situation warrants a sensitive approach to expedite a resolution for the family who experienced such a painful loss, he said in a statement. As such, we've decided to waive our right to arbitration and have the matter proceed in court.
They saw the fact that the entire world was like, are you kidding me?
Yeah.
Josh D'Amaro is a cold-blooded organism wearing a human skin suit. So when the social temperature changes, he feels it.
That's I was thinking you were going a little hard there, but that's a really good example.
I was trying to think of the best way to put that.
Yeah, it is the temperature in the room. If they had not been caught with this publicly, they would have let this. And I think it must have been someone from the plaintiff's side here that let this get out into the press to say, hey, this is ridiculous. You cannot force a wrongful death lawsuit to go to arbitration. Arbitration that would be presumably Disney picking the arbitrator here. And there's part of me that wanted this to go to trial here so that it could be pushed up to the Supreme Court eventually. I don't think it would have. We talked to Ron Coleman. He says he didn't think it would fly because it's such a ridiculous idea that someone has to consider the scope when signing one of these agreements like this. You think about the fact that like Comcast is the internet service provider for a large portion of the United States.
Right.
And they probably have an arbitration clause in their terms and conditions. They also happen to own Epic Universe. So if somebody goes down to City Walk down there at the Universal Orlando Resort and something similar happens, God forbid, that they would be able to force arbitration. It is patently ridiculous and egregious. I think the word that was used by the plaintiff was the right word, egregious. I also think that Disney is just not thinking about how they look anymore. So I just want to go back one more time and wonder, why is it that this is okay at the Disney parks?
And headed to the big battle. Cinderpool was late because he had to read every single page in the terms and conditions when he signed up for Disney Plus.
It's incredibly ridiculous.
They do.
I don't mean to be offended over and over and over again with
Deadpool,
and
I don't like to get offended. I don't like the obviously we're against cancel culture and things like that, but this is just like there's a man grieving for his wife and like you're mocking the situation. Somebody tried to say to me on X like, "Oh, no, you better stop because this is just a joke about how terms and conditions are very long." I said, "Even if that was the case, by the way, it's not, but even if it was the case, kind of bad timing."
Yeah.
It's not like this is like when the bombing in London happened and WWE had already submitted SmackDown for that night and it had something that was going to be deemed insensitive and they couldn't change it in time. This is not that situation. This is a situation where literally before you go out there, you pull the guy aside and you're like, hey, don't do the terms and conditions line.
Yeah, have somebody change it. I mean, the jokes are not that good anyways. The only thing this has is that it's an edgy joke. Forgive me. I'm not trying to harsh some Disney California Adventure comedy writer here, but this is not the pinnacle of comedy. And also, they're not at a nightclub. They're at a Disney park.
I'll harsh it. It's somebody who writes comedy now for a living. It's a hack. It's hacky comedy.
Well, I also need to point out that Disney is planning on doing a lot more of whatever this is. Maybe we can look forward to his comments on all the things that can go wrong on a cruise line. You wouldn't catch me dead on a cruise ship right now with all the things that can go wrong in the cruise industry. And Disney is saying, we got to get more of that Deadpool in our parks. I'm wondering if they can. No, I think Deadpool appeared in Halloween Horror Nights at Islands of Adventure one time. So I think that by their agreement, they probably can't put Deadpool in Disney's version of the park. So, interesting. Marvin, I think they ought to do a Marvin the Movie Monster meet and greet at Disney California Adventure. I think that's probably the best path forward.
That would involve a lot of people trying to hug me, Jonas. And as we've established in previous videos, that is not a thing Marvin enjoys.
That's maybe they can get that Arlo guy. Anyways, that being said, thank you so much. Thank you so much to everyone for tuning in to this video. You have any comments? The Deadpool videos always get lots of comments. Why? Because people come after me because I've got a problem with it. That's okay. That's okay. We don't stifle disagreement. Do try to keep it clean, though. There is some auto modding that happens by YouTube and a couple of language words that we try to keep out of the comments down there. Like this video, of course, if you found it helpful in any way. And if you don't mind, go over there and check out Tooneytown TV and Tooneytown Wrestling. Marvin is not running just one, but two great channels over there. Check them out. And of course, consider subscribing to That Park Place for all the news that should be fun.
Thanks for watching That Park Place News. For more information, consider checking out www.thatparkplace.com. And don't forget to subscribe, share, like, and send this out on your favorite social media accounts.